Here's my audience. So, you have a child who's been developing normally and healthy, and you take him in for his appointment just for a checkup anyway. And everything goes well, except, he cries a little for the vaccine because it's a shot, but otherwise things go well. But the next couple of months, you start noticing some weird things that happen. Your child starts walking everywhere on his tiptoes, and he watches the same video of Barney obsessively and refuses to watch anything else. And he really doesn't play with his toys like he used to, except to just spin them around on the floor. But you say, you know what, this is just a weird stage, and you blow it off. In the next few months, you start noticing a few more odd things, like your kid doesn't really talk like the other kids do. He's not reaching those developmental stages, and he doesn't ever play with his brothers and sisters. And every time you take him out, he just throws a tantrum or just cries the entire time. You think back and think, what on earth happened? What made this huge change in my child? Everything was going completely normal. And you think back to when it all started, when your kid got a vaccine. So you go online and you start Googling all of his symptoms, and two things come up that only confirm your fears. The words vaccines and autism. This is a very common situation, actually. A lot of parents start noticing that their kids show the signs of autism around the time where you get your normal vaccines. But does this necessarily mean that vaccines cause autism? Many politicians, celebrities, and even some scientists are advocates against vaccines, but through legitimate scientific data, we can prove that vaccines do not cause autism. Vaccines are correlated to autism because they occur at around the same time you get your vaccine. But this doesn't necessarily mean that they cause them. According to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, vaccines do not cause autism. So let's begin with how this all started. In 1984, Dr. Wakefield in Britain published an article connecting vaccines to autism. And so many scared parents immediately stopped giving their kids vaccines, and many of them conducted things like mumps, rubella, whooping cough, and a few of them even died from it. So this caused journalists to start kind of looking into Dr. Wakefield's article, and they found that he was paid to come up with this data, and he unethically chose the 11 kids that were used in his article. He moved to the United States, still convinced that vaccines cause autism, and opened his own clinic. The propaganda moved to the United States as well as the rates of autism and many scared parents rose. A theory began circulating that the reason vaccines cause autism is thimerosal, which is a form of mercury that's in vaccines. In 1999, this was removed from vaccines, and the rates of autism still continue to rise. But even if we believe that it might have caused autism, Dr. Madsen and thimerosal and the occurrence of autism proves that thimerosal is not linked to autism either. Many celebrities are advocates for this link between vaccines and autism, like Jenny McCarthy. But the question we need to ask ourselves here is, should we believe a scientist with legitimate data, or do we need to believe a parent who is a previous Playboy bunny star? Many studies have taken on the case of this link of vaccines to autism, and every single study has come out with the same result. There is no link between vaccines and autism. But scientific data isn't enough for a lot of scared parents with these kids with disabilities. In 1980, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. And now, 1 in 88 children have autism. So this is a battle cry for a lot of advocates against vaccine, because this is around the time that we really started using vaccines regularly. So you might ask yourself, if there is no link, then why have the rates risen so extensively since then? And the answer to that is awareness. When this when autism was first created, not many people knew what autism was. At first, many classrooms just put all kids with any disability into one classes, the special ed classes, and gave them a generic diagnosis, mental retardation. The term autism was created to separate those with an intellectual disability and those with just developmental disabilities. And according to the American Psychological Association in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, autism is separated from those because they only have a developmental disability and no intellectual disability. So they can actually move further in their education than those with an intellectual disability. So when the term was first created, not many people knew about it. Autism Speaks and other companies that advocated awareness brought the term autism into the public awareness. And once the term gained awareness, it was able to grow. So more children were able to be diagnosed with autism. In conclusion, science has proven over and over again that there is no link between vaccines and autism. And even though a scientist started the scare and celebrities still support it, there is absolutely no link between the two. But even if you still are unsure or if you don't believe me, I'm going to put things into perspective. Vaccines save lives. Vaccines save lives of children over and over again against mumps, rubella, whooping cough. Would you rather risk your child being diagnosed with autism, or would you rather your child have a deadly disease?